Hello, everyone. Thank you for being there. We're going to start the webinar at 6 or a little after 6, just to let everyone have the time to connect. In the meantime, we're just going to, mute our audio. Thank you for your patience. Hi again, everybody. Thank you for being there. We're going to allow everybody to sign in before we start the webinar. So we'll start in about 5 minutes. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're excited to have you here for the webinar. Before I start, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sylvie Lavoie. I'm the Senior Program Manager at Morgan International Canada. We have planned a very interesting agenda for tonight. We will start with Anis Yazbek, who's Morgan's Business Director. He will introduce you to the US CPA designation. Then we will move on to PwC's representatives. They will talk about PwC's culture and their workplace, in addition to exploring the career opportunities they currently have. Then we will wrap up the webinar with a Q&A session. So to ensure the best experience for everybody, we kindly ask you to keep your microphone muted during the presentation to prevent any echoes or background noise. And during the Q&A segment, you will be able to unmute yourself and to ask your questions. Without any further delays, let's get started with Anis. Anis, the floor is yours. You're muted.
All right, thank you, Sylvie. Good evening, everyone. And first, please allow me to re-welcome each one of you and to thank you for joining our tonight's webinar. In my presentation, I'll brief you about Morgan International so that you can know us more. And then we will go through some details of the US CPA designation. So Morgan International was founded back in 1995, which is almost 30 years ago in Lebanon. And from that location, we have grew organically through professionalism and dedication. And now we are currently present in more than 28 locations worldwide, including Europe, India, the Middle East, and in Canada as well. We are established since 2009. We do have more than 350 certified faculty instructors who are experts in the education field, and our portfolio consists of more than 150,000 candidates and alumni who prepared for their exams with us. And of course, we have more than 500 organizations that we dealt with across the past 25 years, be it banks, government entities, and universities. And we are the partners of the leading international course providers in the world. We do offer a wide variety of certifications that are not only limited to accounting and finance, but we also provide certifications related to HR, to supply chain management, and digital marketing and ESG, which are delivered through multiple study formats, be it like workshops, live online, live classes, or in-house trainings, or of course, we have the self-study packages. When we want to talk about our corporate network, we can easily and proudly say that it's a huge corporate network. In Canada specifically, we can speak about CIBC Mellon, RBC, Scotiabank, MNP, almost all of the universities and colleges. For sure, PwC is one of our strategic partners as well. So the Big Four are there, the Big 20, and many other multinational companies and local companies as well, be it SMEs, locals, or multinationals. Throughout our journey, we earned so many international awards that gave us a good reputation and placed us among the most professional continuing education providers. So this was a quick walkthrough about Morgan International so that you get to know us more. Now moving to our tonight's hot topic, which is the US CPA. The first question that comes to my mind is, why the US CPA in Canada? The answer is pretty simple. First of all, the US CPA is one of the most prestigious and respectful certification in the accounting field. It has a global recognition in most of the biggest economies, including Canada, of course. In fact, there's an increased demand for the US CPA profiles in Canada due to the fact that many companies are either US owned, or they do business with the US, or they apply the US GAAP. And within the big accounting firms, some positions are strictly offered to US CPA holders. So, in terms of cost, it's an economical designation compared to other ones. It can be completed within 12 to 18 months, and the exam is on demand. So technically, you can write your exam anytime during the year, and for sure, the exams are done in Canada. No need for you to travel to the US. Accordingly, it comes without saying that a US CPA holder earn much more than a non-certified employee. To get certified, you should simply comply with three things that we call the three E's. Number one, we have the education, the exam, and the expertise. So number one, meet the education eligibility requirements, which varies from a state board to another, but all of them basically requires a minimum of a bachelor's degree. Then number two, pass the four exams, because the US CPA consists of four papers that you have to write. And number three, the experience. You should have the work experience, which is 1 year under the supervision of a US CPA holder. And that's it. You will become a member of the AICPA, which is the largest accounting body in the world, and your certification will be recognized globally, and you can use it anywhere in the world. So as I mentioned earlier, we have four exams in the US CPA. So I'm gonna give you some quick facts about the US CPA exam. So we have four parts. Three of them are mandatory for all the US CPA applicants, which are called the core parts, which are the financial, the audit, and the regulation. And the fourth part is called the advanced discipline. And this is where you need to choose one among three available options, either the tax or the business analysis or the ISC. I'm going to talk a little bit about them in the following slides. The exams, again, I mentioned it, are done in Canada in prometric testing centers, so there is no need to travel to the US. The exam consists of MCQs and case studies, that is called the TBS, task-based simulation, and you should score more than 75 over 100 in order to pass the exam. After passing your first exam, you have 18 months to complete the remaining three parts. The good news here is that currently there is a voting that is ongoing to increase this period from 18 months to 30 months. Most of the state boards, they completed already this voting, and they are adopting the 30-month rule. The core parts have introductory to intermediate content, while the advanced disciplines are more focused per topic, and they have like advanced content, so that you can get to know more information and more technicalities about the topic that you have selected. If we want to do a short walkthrough over each part, the financial accounting and reporting, or the FAR, includes the largest volume of information, which can make it more challenging than other parts. The candidates should expect some questions focused on the differences between financial statements prepared on a US GAAP basis versus those that are prepared on an IFRS basis, for example. And of course, based on our review, we believe that it requires around 80 to 100 hours of study if you have the basic accounting knowledge. The auditing part includes the entire audit process, plus other services including compilations, reviews and attestation, and the AICPA code of conduct. And also, we're talking about an average of 80 to 100 hours to prepare for the exams. we reach to the taxation and regulation. The exam is a combination of federal tax and business law, including ethics and professional responsibilities. So students who are familiar with tax should be so comfortable with the regulation materials, honestly. The areas covered within the business law portions are somehow simple, so you shouldn't really worry about them. It's not that technical. So if you are or if you like to work in the tax field, regulation might be a place to start your US CPA journey to gain some confidence. And also, based on our analytics, we see that it requires around 80 to 100 hours of study time if you have the basic knowledge. Now, let's look at the BAR, the Business Analysis and Reporting, which is the first discipline. It will test the knowledge and skills related to the advanced financial statements and the technical accounting topics, such as the reporting requirements, the revenue recognition, the lease accounting, and of course, much more. The syllabus of this section is considered also to be heavier than the other two advanced disciplines, which also makes it more challenging. And based on our reviews as well, it requires 100 to 120 hours of preparation with the foundation of economics. When it comes to the ISC, Information Systems and Controls, this exam focuses on the technology and the business controls, and it will test also the knowledge related to the IT, the data management, the data collection, and many other IT-related topics, which is currently trending, honestly. So that's why this section is interesting, since it tackles the, I would call them the nowadays topics. And since we know that the foundation of the future is being built currently on the IT and on the AI, so this section might be so interesting for the future. And it requires around 60 to 80 hours of preparation with a foundation of information system. As for the last discipline, the tax compliance and planning, or the TCP, the exam will test your skills in the US federal tax compliance with a focus on more complex transactions. So if you are into the taxation field, this is your go-to choice. And based on, of course, on our analytics, it requires 60 to 80 hours of preparations with a foundation of tax. Of course, those hours depend from a candidate to another based on the experience, on the knowledge, and on the strategy that each one puts to prepare for the exams. But those numbers are to give you, it's an average to give you some indication. What about the application timeline? As a first step, we as Morgan International, we provide you with a free pre-evaluation of your transcript to help you shortlisting the state boards that you may qualify to. And then you apply for the official evaluation through NASBA. Once your application is approved, you will apply to purchase the notice to schedule, which is an important document that allows you to schedule your US CPA exam in the testing center. So the NTS usually is valid for 6 months, meaning that you should schedule your exam within 6 months from the issuance date of the NTS. Once you receive your NTS, you can simply go online, schedule your exam with Prometric testing centers, and you will be able to choose your testing center for the location and the date, of course. And a small advice, it's important to book your exam as early as possible, as testing centers can sometimes have limited availability. And as I mentioned earlier, nowadays in Canada, there is a huge demand on US CPA, which is making a big traffic on the centers. A good news as well is that as a Canadian CPA, if you hold the Canadian CPA, you will get to bypass 3 sections out of the 4 sections, and you will be only required to write 1 exam, which is called the IQEX, the International Qualification Examination, which is identical 100% to the regulation part. So of course you have to meet some eligibility requirements. We can review them together and we can advise you if you qualify to the IQAX or not. But this is a very good tool that you can utilize. Now, how Morgan International can help you preparing for your US CPA exams. At Morgan, we believe in the power of education to enhance careers, and for that, our team of professionals are here to help you in every step of the way. And we have put in place multiple study packages that contain everything that you need to effectively prepare for the exams in collaboration with Becker Professional Education, for whom, as I have mentioned earlier, Morgan is the sole legal representative in Canada and, of course, in many other locations in the world. Why Becker? Simply because they are the top ranked publishers for the US CPA materials. They are in the business for more than 60 years, and there are more than 2 million candidates worldwide who prepared with Becker materials for their US CPA. And there are like thousands of accounting firms who dealt with Becker and they recommend using it. The Becker Online Access is one of the most advanced in the industry, as it has a study planner to help you plan for your studies, a lot of videos or skill master videos that coaches and explain the concepts, a lot of MCQs, thousands of MCQs, and a lot of mock exams and simulated exams. And of course, it is equipped with a final review program that includes an additional set of MCQs and case studies that are not available in the normal access to help you boot camp your for your preparations before the exams. And most importantly, the personalized learning or the adapt to you technology, where the system assesses your own performance through an algorithm that takes into consideration how many hours you're studying, how fast you are in answering the questions, how many correct or wrong answers you have given, and many, many other criteria until you get something that is called the exam day ready badge or the Becker bump, where our statistics shows that 94% of our candidates who earned this badge, they passed their exam from the first attempt. So this is to show you the power of our material. So if you decide to register for the self-study program, you will be getting the benefit of having all what is mentioned on the screen, that is displayed on the screen right now, and everything that I have mentioned earlier. But if you decide to go for the Morgan Live online package, over and above what you can see on the screen, you will have the opportunity to attend our live online classes that consists of around 45 sessions. Each session is for 3 hours, and those are delivered by our professional and experienced and certified instructors who are university professors with more than 15 to 20 years of experience. All of them are very well versed in the exams, and they are trained and continuously reviewed to provide you with the best classroom experience. So basically, this was the technical walkthrough that I wanted to do tonight. I hope that it wasn't too long. I'm pretty sure that you have so many questions, so we'll make sure to answer them in the Q&A session at the end of our webinar. Thank you for your attention. Again, I hope it wasn't too long. And now, Sylvie, for you again.
Thank you, Anis. We will give the floor to PwC team.
Thank you, Sylvie. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. All right. Hi, everyone. So thank you for joining. I'm just going to start with a quick introduction. I'll just wait to see if you can see my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Yes? Okay, great. So first, my name is Catherine. I'm a campus recruiter at PwC. I've been at the firm for a little over 4 years now. Initially, I started in the core assurance practice in Montreal, and now I've been recruiting for 2 years. And we also have 3 managers from the US tax team joining us today. So Yalin, David, and Jason, they'll do a little story share later, so you'll get a chance to hear more about them. All right, so for today, I'm going to present PwC quickly, and then the application process, our job opportunities, and then we'll have a team panel. All right, so the PwC experience rests on our 4 meaningful pillars, which are meaningful work, meaningful rewards, meaningful connections, and meaningful growth. So first of all, for meaningful work, it's all about focusing on more than just doing tasks. So PwC is continuously investing in digital tools to make it easier for everyone to collaborate on tasks that matter. So a great example of this is PwC created its own version of ChatGPT, which is a great tool that you can use for research, draft emails, and just overall save a lot of time in your day-to-day. Now, this is a big slide. The reason why there is so much information on here is that we just have so many benefits to choose from. So this is meaningful rewards, where it just goes way beyond financial compensation. So we offer a mix of incentives going from benefits to a flexible work environment. So I'll just name a few that are on here. We have an enhanced mental health benefit of $2,500. We also have a lifestyle benefit that you can spend on anything from a fitness membership, travel, clothing, so much more. We also have access to the Lumino Health Virtual Care, which is where you can meet specialists virtually for your health needs. So this is a really great way to have quick access to a medical professional without the wait time in the ER. So I just encourage you to visit our website and just learn more about all of these benefits, because I really cannot go through all of them today. But there's really something for everyone in there, you know, for parents, family building, work-life harmony, all of that. All right, so moving on to meaningful connections. This is really all about PwC's diversity initiatives. So we're really committed to creating a more equitable and inclusive environment to ensure that staff from diverse backgrounds feel a genuine sense of belonging and can fulfill their potential. So a few ways that we're accomplishing this through scholarships and mentorship programs that we have for Black and Indigenous students. We also have a very long list, again, of inclusion networks that are employee-driven groups that create communities within the firm to support their unique needs. So these groups, they'll basically have events for their communities that are funded by the office. So there is, for example, the Shine Inclusion Network, Muslim Inclusion Network, South Asian Business Inclusion Network, and so many more. Again, the full list is on our website. I encourage you to go look at that. And the great thing with these inclusion networks is that if you see that you are part of a group and you think that there isn't a network that's already created, you can just request to create one and you'll receive funding, and then you can create your own community within the firm. All right, next, for meaningful growth. So we support our people's professional and personal development to make sure that you get to learn and develop every day. So there are a few ways that we're accomplishing this. First of all, through Vantage, which is our self-education learning tool. So it provides access to thousands of courses on a variety of topics. So you can just browse and choose to learn about even, you know, a topic that you're not, that's not about your line of service. So for example, I could just go on there to learn more about sustainability if I feel like it. We also offer internal and global mobility opportunities. So you can work within or outside Canada, and this is really to allow you to grow your networks. So you can do either a short-term assignment, long-term assignment, or even a permanent transfer. So I have an example of one of my friends from the Montreal office who moved permanently to Monaco. So she now works at PwC Monaco. So that's definitely pretty cool. After that, from day one, you'll get assigned a career coach. So your coach will be your go-to person for anything you need at the firm for your career development. And they're really there to help you move and, you know, just reach your career goals, whether that's in your line of service or if it's a lateral move within the firm. And lastly, I saw this question in the chat. We do offer financial support to obtain your US CPA. All right, so this is the list of opportunities that we have posted right now. So we have openings in Calgary, Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. They're all for a start date of January 2026 full-time, except for Montreal, where we also have that co-op role. We will have more openings next fall for summer internships and full-time roles in May 2026. But as of right now, this is what we have open. So if you're looking for something a little bit further down the line, just please scan the QR code, join our talent community, and you can turn on the notifications for when we'll have these postings ready. So for these current roles, the applications deadline for Calgary is April 20th. So that is this Sunday. And then April 27th for all of the other offices. So if you want to apply, you can just go on our website, find the job opening that interests you, and then you'll be asked to fill out a pretty quick questionnaire, drop your resume and transcript, and then that's it. If you're selected to interview, you will be asked to join an in-person interview with a manager and a partner. And then after that, if you're selected, you will receive an offer. So that's pretty much it for our application process. I want to keep it short and sweet. So if you have any questions, I'll just get to that in the Q&A portion. And for now, we'll just move on to the story share to meet our PwC staff. So Yelin, I will give you the floor.
Thank you, Catherine. Hi, everyone. I'm Yalene. I'm a tax manager with PwC Canada U.S. tax teams based in Toronto office. I've been with the firm for 5 years, a little bit more than 5 years, specializing in U.S. federal income tax compliance, provisions, consulting with a focus on mergers and acquisitions. And I'm excited to share more about our team, our cultures, and opportunities that we offer. It's great to meet you all. Let me see my first question. So why did I choose tax and the office? My journey is a little bit different. I went to universities in the state. So back then when I majored in accounting, the popular two options are audit or tax. And I think back then I believe the concept is audit is more that you check other people's work, and for tax is more you're providing some values to the client. You can answer their questions. You can prepare their tax returns. So I like more that concept than audit. So that's why I decided to pursue a tax role. But now looking back after 5 years of working in this industry, I do wanted to share a bit more perspective about U.S. tax. First of all, because we base in Canada, especially that we are in this really global world right now, a lot of our clients, they have U.S. operations and cross-border structures. So it's a really niche area that always in demand in Canada, that people knows U.S. tax, and I enjoy the strategic side of helping the client managing their cross-border issues and also while stay compliant on both sides of the borders. And another point I will bring up is that it's a really challenging field. For that being said, I personally really enjoy that I get to learn stuff every day. Even after 5 years now, I feel like every day I'm learning new stuff. Also because of the nature of US tax, always have new stuff coming up that we need to be on top of all the new rules and also all the news. And another point I wanted to bring up is that in our team, we don't really necessarily separate different industries. So for example, it's not one person you only work on real estate, the other person only work on private equity. We are all operate as a one team, national team together. So then every single one of them that get the opportunity to get a lot of exposures on different industry, so that I think it is really valuable, especially for people who just started their career, that help you to build yourself as a pretty well-rounded professional. And it's really great to begin with that, and slowly on the way, you can find your focus, what you wanted to specialize in the long term. And the reason I chose Toronto just more fits my personal and professional goals. Second question, what type of client engagements you work with? As I mentioned earlier, I work on tax compliance and also a lot of consulting projects cross-border transactions and either helping the Canadian company expand their business in the US, or maybe the Canadian company already have their existing US activities, so we can help them to see any tax plannings, or maybe when the Canadian entities, they wanted to look for the exit opportunity. So we'll take a look to see how to help them to repatriate the earnings back to Canada. So a lot of fun work involving on my day-to-day jobs. And this is why I mentioned earlier that every day I'm feeling like I'm learning something new. The last question, what is the piece of advice for incoming associates? I'll definitely say try to be open-minded, be curious, and don't be afraid to ask questions and try to get involved. Like for example, that you're able to attend event like this is really helpful. You get to know that what opportunity that PwC can offer. At the same time, you get to, hearing like our stories. So then that's something that you cannot learn from, Googling or from other people. So that's really valuable. And also that I always believe the more that you engage, the more that you grow. So stay active, and I think this will be a really good opportunities for you. Catherine, I'll stop here. Maybe I'll pass it to Jason.
Thank you, Yellen.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, David.
That's okay. We can go back, Catherine, to me, and then go to Jason after.
Okay.
Yeah, just so you're with your slides. Hi, everyone. My name is David. I'm a manager in US Tax in our Calgary office. A little bit different path than Yalin in terms of joining the firm. I was a co-op student in Calgary before joining the firm full-time. And back when I was going through the co-op program, the allocation of lines of service was based on market needs. And so when I joined PwC as a student, there's a market need for US tax. And not knowing anything about US tax, I really hit it off with the team and the type of work. And so just stuck around on a full-time basis once my university undergrad was done. Why did I choose the Calgary office? Really just studied in Calgary, grew up in Calgary. Family's here, friends are here. Didn't really have an inclination for going to work in any other city or country. Just really liked being at home. But with that being said, and I think Yellen alluded to it, US tax at PwC operates on a national basis. And so while you're based in whatever office you are, living in Calgary or living in Montreal, Toronto, or Vancouver, while most likely the majority of your clients would be based in that city, you do get the opportunity to work on clients from all over the country. So I've had the opportunity to work on files from the Toronto office, from the Vancouver office, from Montreal, and I've got to travel, within Canada and outside of Canada for those clients. So, if you're somebody that is like me and likes to have, maybe a smaller city, but perks of big city clients, I think you definitely do get these opportunities at the firm. How is the firm supporting your CPA journey? So unlike all of you who are, thinking about doing the US CPA, I went through the Canadian CPA program at the firm, just by virtue of what was being offered by PwC when I started. So I am a Canadian CPA who eventually will be looking at doing his US CPA. So I would be looking at doing the reciprocal exam in a few years. In terms of the Canadian CPA, and I can speak to the US CPA as well, having some colleagues and some coaches doing the US CPA, is the firm is 100% behind you in pursuing your designation. For me, on the Canadian CPA, it was having study groups, some study leaves, and some days off allocated to studying and writing exams. I was given, plenty of time to study in the evenings, even though it was a busy season and I was doing a CPA module. Had friends to help, to leverage off of to study and prepare for the exams. And for the Canadian CPA, once I got to the CFE, for those of you who know what the CFE is, I got to go on a study leave to prepare for that final exam. Now, I can't speak for my experience with the US CPA because I haven't done it, but from colleagues and my coaches who are doing it currently, it's the same level of support, just more tailored towards the US CPA program. So you do get your resources, you do get, some small time off to prepare for the exams. You do get peers that you can leverage off of to help you study, to go for coffee and just bounce ideas off of as you're going through the program. And in terms of file allocations, the firm acknowledges that you're also doing your designation. So, in terms of workload management, the firm helps out with that. And lastly, some firm initiatives that I'm involved in. So I'm a hockey player. So I play on the PwC hockey team in Calgary. It's a cross-law team, so I get to meet people from all lines of services within the firm, but also connect with PwC alumni. So that's really helped with my networking and just getting new opportunities within and outside the firm, and just make great friends along the way. Another initiative that I'm part of is our US Tax L&D team. So in Calgary, I am part of our US Tax L&D panel. So I help put on trainings for our staff in Calgary, Edmonton, and across the Prairies region in Canada. I also help on a national basis with some L&D initiatives, and just try to get involved as much as I can with teaching the next generation of US tax practitioners. So and always looking to join more initiatives and those support groups that Catherine was mentioning earlier. So Catherine, I'll pass it back to you to move it to
Thank
Jason.
you, David. And that's a really good point. I forgot to mention that before. We do have a lot of sports team at the firm. Aside of Inclusion Networks, we have the soccer teams that have an international PwC tournament. I don't know if you have an equivalent of that with the hockey, or if it's just if it stays within Calgary.
I think it stays within Calgary, but I've heard a lot of great things about the soccer team and the PwC World Cup, which I always see pictures online. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
A lucky bunch.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, David. So, Jason.
Thanks, Catherine. So, hi everyone. My name is Jason, and I'm a US tax manager with the Vancouver office. So let's go through the questions. Why did you choose your line of service and office? So why did I choose US tax? It's kind of not a choice per se, more like everything happened naturally. So I graduated from university and I was preparing for the US CPA. And because I didn't have any US tax background, I kind of devoted myself to the preparation, and it worked well. I got a 99 in regulation, and I thought it seems interesting, US tax, and then I saw PwC Canada was hiring, and then I landed an interview, got an offer. That's how I ended up in US tax. And for Vancouver, it was my wife and I, it was kind of a no-brainer for us because we love the mild climate and the stunning scenery here. It's a perfect mix of city life and nature, and we both really enjoy it. And so second question, what are some firm initiatives that you're involved in? So at PwC, I think one of the projects I'm really into is our tax adjustment tool. So it's a real game changer, and basically moves us away from the old traditional Excel working paper, and make our work a lot more efficient. we save, by using this technology, we save a ton of time and improve accuracy, which means we can, it basically saves us from the just crunching numbers and gives us the opportunity to focus more on the interesting stuff. So I hosted a couple of MTA text adjustment training sessions for both our local office and our acceleration center, and just want to make sure everyone, no matter their experience level, can get the most out of the powerfulness of this tool. It's really great to see people really picking it up and using it to improve their workflow. So with this tool, it greatly contributed to our firm's goals of innovation and efficiency by leveraging technology. And what is your one piece of advice for incoming associates? I think my advice is very much like Yao-Ling, so not being proactive and not afraid to ask questions. Just don't hesitate to reach out for clarification or guidance, because it's a great way to learn and show your eagerness to understand and contribute effectively to the team. And being proactive means taking the initiative to seek out new opportunities, volunteer for projects, and continuously looking for ways to improve career processes. And asking questions not only help you get deeper insights, but also demonstrates your engagement and commitment to your role. No questions are silly, and just don't be afraid of asking questions. That's all I have here. I hand it back to you, Catherine.
Thanks a lot, Jason. I think we're done with the presentation. So back to you, Anis and Sylvie. I'm not sure if you wanted to move on to the Q&A part right away, or if you have another slide to present.
No, we'll go to the Q&A part. Thank you for the presentation, PwC team. It was very interesting and informative. Now, if you have, well, actually, there are a lot of questions. We will do our best to answer as many of them as possible. So I will read them, and most of them are for PwC. We answered a few about Morgan during the presentation. So we'll start with the first one. Talking about the work experience requirement, is it true that the work experience is a minimum of 1 year that needs to be done in the US? No. No, it's 1 year of experience, but the experience can be done anywhere in the world. So including here in Canada. What are the options if your supervisor in Canada is not a US CPA and cannot sign off on the experience? In most cases, it needs to be a US CPA, like each state has different requirements. But there are state boards that accept a Canadian CPA. So for this, please send us an email with your transcript and with the question, and we'll be able to be more specific about that. But your experience can count. Your supervisor in Canada can sign.
Yes, Sylvie, just allow me to interfere for a few seconds here. If you don't know or you don't have a US CPA to attest your experience, there is a service that is called the Experience Verification Service that is available on NASBA's side. You can simply submit your experience and they will assign a US CPA for you so that they can review and attest your experience. So technically speaking, there is no problem with that.
If we don't have US studying background, we still can apply for the US CPA? Yes, of course. Your education background from anywhere in the world will be looked into. Will be accepted. can you do these programs once you finish your bachelor in Quebec? Yes, you can. I was working with PwC SDC Kolkata, India in 2020 and 2022. I recently migrated to Canada with a PR. I'm finding it hard to find a job in Canada. Can you guys give some leads?
I can take this one. I think you can reach out to me on LinkedIn and I can give you a little bit more guidance. We do have some opportunities for HSBC or SDC transfers to Canada. So please just reach out on LinkedIn.
Any opening for experienced accountant?
Not at the moment. I personally only recruit for campus roles. So if you're looking for an experienced role, I would just encourage you to browse our website. There's a separate experience section. And if there's anything on there, you'll see it. And if not, you can just turn on notifications. If there's an opening, you'll receive an email.
There's a question, how can we work for PwC online?
So we only have in-person or hybrid roles, so it's not an option to work only from home. We try to prioritize coming into the office or on client site as much as possible.
For graduate applicants, can the start date be any time earlier than January 2025?
Right now, we only have Jan 2026, so that's the earliest.
I'm an ACCA member if I have a chance to join PwC. Well, I don't know. Do you want to answer that, Catherine?
I don't know. I don't know if the person who wrote this one can maybe add more info on you themselves, or otherwise we can skip it if you want to add more detail in the chat.
Wait, let me try to unmute her. Oh, I lost the name is gone. So.
Okay.
Please email us about the ACCA and we can help you by email or give you a call. Should I get the US CPA to work with you?
That's a yes. So David mentioned that when he joined the firm, there was an option to do the Canadian CPA and still work in US tax. Now that's no longer an option. So to work in US tax, it's required that you complete your US CPA.
I've applied for CPA Canada tax. Can I request PwC for CPA US instead?
So if you want to apply for US tax, I would just recommend that you withdraw from your initial corporate tax application and apply to US tax instead.
This one is for Anis. What is the cost involved for the training?
Well, in fact, Sylvie, we have multiple packages. Depends on like the access that you want to have, the type of or the study format that you're looking for. In the subsequent email that we're gonna be sending to all of the attendees after after the webinar, sorry, we're gonna list all of the packages that we have. But on average, for the full parts package, we're talking about 3,500 to 4,500 Canadian dollars for the all parts altogether.
Next question is, how best can one get an offer with, it's written piece, but I'm sure you meant PwC, as a certified fraud examiner credential?
Okay, I assume that's for forensics accounting. We do have a forensics accounting business unit. Now, I'm not sure if we have openings right now, so same answer as before, just please look at our website for this one. And I see the two other ones were also about experienced roles. So that was the same answer, just please go look on our website in that section.
Okay, and here we have a question. Are those opportunities for student only or for campus new hire?
Yeah, so it's for right now, we only have campus.
Okay. Does Morgan offer any mentorship or career support with firms like PwC after we pass our CPA exam? Do you want to answer, Anis?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, I don't see the name. It's like anonymous, but what we can tell you is that, of course, we can give you insights about the career, about how you can enhance your career, and we're constantly like resharing because we are not a recruitment agency, so we're always sharing the job opportunities with PwC or any other company that for the US tax that we see on LinkedIn. So you can follow our pages and you can see what are the available opportunities.
Does enrolled agent help with these jobs? I am on the verge of completion of EA. I passed 2 exams. That's for PwC.
I can answer that, Catherine, if
Okay.
you want. Yeah, the enrolled agent designation definitely helps from a U.S. tax perspective. So we do have a lot of our practitioners here at PwC Canada that have their enrolled agent licenses. So I would say yes.
The next question is, I have almost 6 years of experience. I am an ex-PwC from India. I am SAP S4 Anafico consultant. Currently, I'm pursuing my 2nd year advanced professional accounting from York University, which will end in September. Can you please advise for which role I should apply in PwC, or can I get an email ID where we can connect?
Yeah, sure. Just connect with me on LinkedIn, and I can help you find the right role.
How can I start the USCP education? We will be sending you an email, and we will, we'll get you started. Ines, did you have something to say about that?
No, no, I'm
No?
good. You want me to just to give you a break on the questions?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So we have a question as well. How can someone get an offer with PwC as a certified fraud examiner? So I think we have answered something. It's related to forensic
Yeah, we
audit.
did. Mhm.
So this is supposedly done. What advice would you have for someone that is not very recent graduate, but is also in the middle of becoming a CPA student and looking to transition to companies like PwC and pursuing US CPA? So actually, it's a question for us and for PwC. For me, my answer is very brief. Nowadays, the U.S. tax departments in most of the companies in Canada is booming. We're seeing an increased demand for US CPA profiles. So shifting or putting yourself on the track of the US tax by earning your EA or US CPA will surely open up the doors for you. So this is like a genuine answer that I can give. Catherine, for you.
Yeah, I think my answer would be to just make sure that it's very clear when you apply that you're not applying for an experienced role. So sometimes we see candidates who had like prior experience and then they apply to a campus role and their applications kind of get set aside because they look like they should be an experienced hire. So just to be sure with your application that you don't put like a old undergrad graduation date of like 10 years ago, because that would make your application look experienced instead of entry level.
Thank you, Catherine. We have a question. It seems there is a problem in the QR code. Someone is mentioning that I scanned the QR code, but it's taking me to talent community page. There are no specific positions related to CPA US. Can you please confirm how do we need to apply? I'm interested in the Jan 26 Vancouver location.
Yeah, so you would just need to navigate to our careers page and search for the opportunity. I think that we discussed just sending the links to these opportunities after the webinar. So we'll be doing that.
All right. So anyways, guys, if you will not be able to follow the QR code properly, then you will be receiving the links from our side after the webinar to directly land on the page of the opportunities. I was wondering what does PwC look into for applicants applying for US tax roles, and is doing a US CPA enough for the role? I think we've answered
Yeah.
this.
Well, I mean, speaking from a recruitment perspective, my answer is yes, it is enough for the role. We're definitely looking for soft skills as well, leadership, being a good team player. I don't know if David, Jason, Yanin, you have something to add to that for maybe, you know, some good assets for applicants.
Yeah, I think we discussed this in our panel, like just being curious, open to new opportunities and new type of work, you know, and continuously wanting to learn more. Like I'm personally doing a master's degree right now in US tax, so there's always opportunities to further advance your knowledge. So the US CPA is a good starting point, but there's always more that you can bring to the table.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have like also a quick question. Someone is asking if someone is enrolled in the US CPA, still like his US CPA is still ongoing, or he should be holding the title to apply for these roles. I believe that being enrolled is enough, right?
Correct. Yeah.
All right. That we have one question, genuine question that you just answered, Catherine, about what are like the things or the skills that might help any applicant to the to secure a job at PwC. So I think you answered this a few minutes ago about the soft skills and the knowledge and the attitude. So we're good at that. I'm currently working. This one we answered it as well. If I have an offer from PwC Canada Tax, can I request for US tax? That's a riddle.
I understand it though. So my answer for this one would be no, because a position in tax, so corporate tax, is a Canadian CPA designation, and US tax is a US CPA designation. So you could do it if you stay in tax long enough, you get your Canadian CPA designation, and then decide to pursue the US one and transfer. But it's not like a short-term option to do that transfer.
All right. Here we have a question to any of the managers who are with us on the call. What are the biggest challenges facing US tax professionals today? So if you can give some insight.
Yeah, I can probably answer this one.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, so I mean, it's because the complexity of the US tax law is very challenging to stay up to date with all the rapid changes, especially with the new Trump administration. So the tax law changes a lot recently, and so like David said, we need to keep learning, and so this part I found it really challenging, and also I think from a manager's perspective, we need to, you know, keep track of our clients' tax footprints, and especially if they have you know, operations around the globe. Understanding their global operations requires knowledge, not only US tax knowledge, but you also need to have knowledge of, because like you have, if you're headquartered in Canada, you need to know a little bit of Canadian tax, and if you're in other countries, you need to know probably a little bit of, you know, international tax laws. So it's just we just need to keep learning, and I think this part I found it really challenging. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jason. So someone is asking if someone is currently employed at PwC and he's looking to do a transfer, an intra within the company, intra-company transfer.
Yeah, so I see that first one we already answered, the one from SDC India.
Yeah.
And then the second one, it's kind of a similar to the question before. So if you decide to do a transfer again from a role for which you need a CPA designation to one where you need a US CPA designation, you cannot pursue both at the same time and be financially supported by the firm for both. So you will have to pick one if you decide to transfer. So you'll have to choose to let go financial support of the Canadian CPA and move on to the US one.
All right. We have Dina. She's saying that she doesn't hold like the Canadian or the US CPA, but she has like more than 15 years of experience. So now she's preparing for her MBA. Is this she has any chance, or would her candidature be somehow accepted?
Well, definitely not on the campus side, but I think there could be some experience opportunities open on your website.
All right, now I'm skipping some questions which are somehow similar to those that we have answered to exam. So yes, if you are partially, you can apply. For Vancouver PwC January intake, what's hybrid like? How many days per week in the office versus home? When the first round of interview happen after the closing date, and what's the chances to get hired?
So the first round, well, it's just a single final round of interviews. That's the first week of May. And then for the hybrid work expectations, maybe Jason, you could take that one since you're from Vancouver. So how many days do you need to be in office?
Yeah, right now I think it's 3 days a week.
Okay, cool, thank you.
All right, I can see that, Jason, you're typing an answer to Alfred, so I'm gonna skip it. How much of this role USCPA position at PwC comprise of client interactions? So those positions, they involve some client interactions, or they are like back office job?
I can answer. Depends on the client, depends on the relationship, but I would say it's very client facing in general. So we expect staff to be able to interact with clients.
Go.
Okay.
Yeah, going back. Sorry, Anis. Going back to that.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, going back to that previous question, I think probably it's just easier to answer answer here. So why it's important for us to have our own proprietary AI. So it's mostly from a data privacy perspective, because we deal with a lot of sensitive client data. And if we use open source AI tools like ChatGPT, there's a possibility of data leak, and that's why we developed our own. So it's our tool is called the ChatGPT power tool is called ChatPwC. I think it's most the same function, the same as ChatGPT, and it's just everything is within PwC, and you don't need to worry about the data privacy issue. And it's used to how it enhance the working US. So it's I think it improve the efficiency of our workflow and help you drop emails and organize your daily tasks, stuff like that. We also have Copilot. It's also integrated to our daily workflow. It can help you with a lot of tasks. And we also have this tax research tool called Havi, and I think it's very powerful. It's generally it can help you navigate through the tax code, and provide you summary and source whenever you need to do a tax research.
All right. Thank you, Jason. We have also a question about how much do grades matter for jobs towards US taxes?
I think as a general rule for campus roles, grades are definitely taken into consideration, but so are a lot of other factors. So definitely, if we see a resume of someone who has a job, is involved in school clubs, they don't have the best of grades, that doesn't really matter as much. So really, we're going to look at the whole picture, and really the strength of your application as a whole, and not just your grades.
Okay, so basically, you don't look to the grades. As long as someone holds like a bachelor's degree, it doesn't matter if he has like 120 or 150 credits. As long as he has the proper background, he should be okay to apply.
And soft skills are also very important.
Of course, attitude is everything. So does having the EA? Yes, we have answered that. Yes, it is. It gives you an edge. What can you add to your application to increase your chances of being hired at PwC? So just state the truth. That's it. How is the current geopolitical disruption going to affect any position in US tax roles? So, guys, do you have any insight about this?
If the person can just expand on what she means by he or she means on geopolitical disruption, like, do you mean in terms of our day-to-day work or in terms of our job security?
Okay.
If that person can expand, I think it's easier to respond.
Well, yeah. So we still have like more than 50 questions. And those are big questions. Like I'm gonna try to be concise as well. What's the best way to land an internship with PwC in Quebec? Just again, I will allow myself to answer. Just follow the links and go to LinkedIn, follow Catherine, and you will find everything there. Can we please have different name to add you guys on LinkedIn, please? So yes, can you guys just write in the chat your full names so that they can add you on LinkedIn? So, and how would PwC support me during co-op and after in the process of acquiring the US CPA accreditation?
So the support for the US CPA, we offer financial support as well as study time off, like David was explaining before. If you reach out to me and put my name in the chat, I can give you the whole detailed list of how we support.
I have entered Catherine's full name in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So for students who haven't had formal accounting work experience yet, but are eager to break into the field, what qualities or experience does PwC value most? Again, we're talking about the soft skills and the technicalities. Guys, I think I'm gonna do one thing since we do have the names of the persons who have asked the questions and we do have your emails. I think if we see that the question wasn't answered earlier, we could just connect to you like in the coming days to send you the answer because we cannot answer all of those questions, but we're gonna continue a little bit with some of them. I'm US CPA, but don't have any experience with US taxation. What is the best advice to me?
I mean, if you're a US CPA and you don't have work experience, then you're the definition of a campus entry-level candidate. So that is exactly what we're looking for. So please apply.
Catherine, you think there will be anything coming to Edmonton soon for internship opportunities?
Not for 2026.
Okay. I'm a CFE holder. How can I join PwC? Simply apply and you shall be responded to your question. I'm a CPA, US CPA interested in US tax job. Should I apply via student career? Yes, of course. I'm an ex-PwC employee. I'm a SAP. I think we have responded to that earlier. Muskan Arora is asking, I have studied accounting for my bachelor's and worked as an accountant for a year in India. Now I've been working for a bank in a finance sector in Toronto, but looking for a transition since. Okay, please can you guide me on that? Simply apply to the opportunities that are showing and also you shall be answered. Would it be possible to list all of the LinkedIn? Yes, for sure, you're gonna receive them after the call. Okay. PwC top choice for me and okay. Any feedback or that you can share would mean a lot. Yeah, so Umair is asking again, what are the skills and what's required from him to improve his chances for future cycles?
I think we've answered that one.
We answered this. What can you add to your application? We have answered that as well. We have some repetitive questions, by the way. Can work with PwC without any of these certifications? You can apply, but please, Catherine, you can answer.
Yes. So you need to be pursuing your US CPA.
Yes, Olemide is asking, does PwC hire people who graduated from the university after a few years as entry-level associates?
I think for this one, it's similar to something I said before. Just if you don't have experience in the specific field that you're applying for, you're still considered a student. So just make sure that your application reflects that so that you don't look experienced.
Okay, and you guys mentioned something about the AI integration at the daily activities in PwC. We have a question that how is AI being used in this role? And will there be any opportunities to learn AI integration at PwC?
David, you want to say something? You can go ahead.
I was gonna say AI, where AI is going, PwC is gonna follow in terms of using AI, in terms of how we're using it day to day. I think Jason alluded to it quite a bit, just making our work more efficient in all breadths of our day-to-day tasks.
Yeah, I think everything will follow the AI very soon.
Yep.
So can you please confirm how to apply in PwC for Jan 2026? I'm unable to find the related positions. We're gonna send the links, all of the links after this webinar in the coming few days, not immediately after the webinar, in the coming few days. What is the minimum qualification to apply for PwC?
So you just need to have completed your undergrad by the start date and be on the way to just be pursuing your US CPA.
Okay. We have, so for individuals aspiring to pursue a role with PwC in US tax, will they be pursuing a Canadian CPA designation through the tax stream before pursuing the US CPA?
Sorry, I'm trying to find the question. I think the answer to that is no. So it's like I said, it's the firm will only compensate for the US CPA.
How is the process in internally switching to US tax from another department in PwC? It's a question from Anne Gabrielle.
I think we answered that earlier.
Again, I'm pursuing US CPA done with 2 exams, FAR and REG. I was wondering, do you guys consider which discipline we are writing for exam for interview and the domain which we want to work?
No, we are not. So it's just going to be like a general application.
Yeah, so Buwan, just to let you know as well that irrespective of the discipline that you select, it won't show anywhere, even on your on your US CPA designation. It will simply show that you are a US CPA. So it won't show anywhere. It's only that you can tell about it so that you can show a better expertise for the employers. Are campus applications reviewed on a rolling basis or only after the application deadline has passed? Okay. This is an internal question for PwC. Are there roles for an eager and hardworking business analyst that can be trained who is an engineering graduate with some data analytics intern experience, or is there specific knowledge that needs to be learned in school first in commerce degree?
So I think definitely a profile in engineering is not fit for a US CPA. So you need to have a business undergrad to begin with. But we do have roles in consulting that might be better suited for an engineer background.
Yep, we have a question also about what do recruiters look for a resume for audit tax positions for new guards?
Pretty much answered
this.
Yeah.
So again, soft skills, attitude, technical skills, so integrity, all of those. I just want to clarify, if you want to start an entry level campus new hire and you are not a recent grad, would you be able to apply? Again, we have answered this. Simply don't show your experience. Is that right, Catherine? Okay. I'm interested in working with PwC and I'm an undergrad with an accounting bachelor's degree. How can I get my opportunity? Follow the links and apply, and they will review your candidature. Sorry for PwC team, I'm just trying to answer because we still have 25 open questions. Okay. Would it be considered a red flag for recruiters if transferring to a different global branch is a long-term priority? I'm assuming not, considering Catherine spoke highly of global transfer opportunities.
No, it's not a red flag, no.
Okay. If you do not fall under experienced hire but have not graduated recently, would you be able to apply as a campus new hire?
Yes.
Yes, you can. I have an experience in corporate reporting and general accounting task, which I believe has a lot of transferable skills. What kind of role is appropriate based on my experience?
I think that's a very specific question and we can maybe answer on LinkedIn if you want to reach out.
Okay. For sure. Please reach out to Catherine because unfortunately I don't have the name. I can see it's anonymous. So what kind of problem your firm is facing and is actively looking to solve? Well, it's a very big
Very broad question.
so
I don't think we can answer that one tonight.
So I have an experience in corporate reporting and general accounting task, which I believe has a lot of transferable skills. What kind of role is appropriate based on my experience?
I think we answered that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
just reach out to me. Yeah.
For the Montreal position, is speaking French a requirement? That's a good question.
Yes, very good question. So the answer to that is yes for all roles, no for US tax roles. So you're good if you don't speak French.
Okay, we have Mushtaba Saigani. I've asked a question, but I feel like it's being ignored. No, of course, we're not ignoring any question. Let me see if we have answered it or not yet. Please, Mushtaba, please rewrite it in the Q&A section so that we can re-answer it in case we have missed it, because we have like a long list of questions. So although I'm not a recent graduate, my background is in different area of taxation and I am now transitioning into US corporate tax. If I don't have direct US tax experience, would it still be possible to apply for entry level?
Yes.
I'm pursuing US CPA and staying in the US. Okay, can I still apply for Canada PwC? So this is a to remote job.
Nope. Unfortunately.
Okay. If I already started my US CPA journey, will I get reimbursed for expenses paid in previous years?
That's a good question. I would have to confirm, so please reach out to me directly.
Okay, I'm currently doing my master's and US CPA. Am I still eligible for this?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the common mistakes you see in student applicants' resume?
Honestly, just filling out the questionnaire incorrectly. That's the first thing we look at. So just make sure to read the questions very thoroughly and answer them accurately, because that's where a lot of people make a mistake. It's not necessarily the resume, it's just that questionnaire. And making sure that you upload the correct documents too.
Yeah. So Mushtaba, she or he retyped. So thank you so much for answering my question. It's our pleasure to answer the questions. Could I contact you by email and how can I connect with the consulting roles? I really need to know the answer. So yes, for sure. You can always reach out to our emails, to us by email, and all of our contact details will be sent to you after the webinar so that you can reach out to us at any time. If I already started my US CPA, will get reimbursed? We have answered this. Can this be seen as lowering the pool of CPAs in Canada? So why would someone want to gain their US CPA beyond getting paid more? It seems to be the only immediate attraction and the global recognition. Second point, the global recognition, does that mean they can do Canadian accounting, but Canadian CPAs can do US accounting? So Catherine, this question is to you.
I don't know if one of the managers maybe want to take this one.
Yeah, I can answer that maybe as a Canadian CPA. There's transferability between the two designations. Just because you're a Canadian CPA doesn't mean you can't do US accounting. Obviously, there are certain things that are specific to US CPAs. For example, powers of attorney. Being Canadian CPA, I cannot hold a power of attorney in the US. So that's one of the items. But otherwise, there is transferability between the two designations, and I would say that having both is a very important asset, and knowing both Canadian accounting and US accounting is an asset for sure in our line of business, as Jason alluded to earlier. You need to know, not only need to know US tax, you need to have a basic understanding of all taxation systems around the world. So I would say, no, it does not impact the pools of CPAs in Canada or the US pursuing one designation over the other.
Yeah, Catherine, we have a question directed to you. So if you want to answer it, how can I stand out from my peers besides outside of academics with the increased like competition for the new graduate? You can
I think, yeah, definitely being involved in student clubs, you know, case comps, anything you can do on campus that's relevant to the role, volunteering, work experience, maybe even if it's unrelated to the role, where you can just show that you worked in a team, showed some leadership skills, anything like that.
Yeah, so we have another question like that we have answered, but let us re-emphasize on it. If you have an experience and you want to apply for an entry-level role, simply don't mention about the experience.
Yeah, if it's irrelevant experience, then you can apply for a campus role. If it's relevant experience, then you are considered a experienced hire.
Catherine, we have also a question from Rahul. I'm currently a UBC DAP student looking for articling roles. I'll be graduating this year. I have applied for the assurance role in Vancouver for JAM, but I was wondering, can I apply for Montreal too? So they can apply for both. But
You can. I see if you have zero proficiency in French. Now, articling, is that like for your bar? If so, through tax law in Montreal, you do need to speak French. But like I said, if it's for US tax, then no, it's not necessary.
okay, if we have Shiraj Arora, I'm a third-year student at Lakehead University and have been looking for internship leads in the auditing. It would be great if I could get guidance regarding the situation. I think simply apply for the available opportunities, right?
Yeah.
We still have 7 open questions. I'm attempting to apply for the 2026 US tax non-CPA role here in Calgary, and I'm conflicted about the transcripts to upload, as the website says to upload the most recent transcript. My most recent transcript is a postgraduate certificate of 1 year. Should I upload the transcript for my undergraduate degree of 2018 or the postgraduate certificate of 2022?
If you can just create a PDF and merge both in there and just upload that, that would be great.
Okay, I'm coming from a non-accounting background, so I was wondering how common is it for people without a traditional accounting or finance degree to start their career at PwC, and what kind of support or entry paths are usually available to them?
Well, I think we do have non-CPA paths, but I think that's a whole different topic that we can discuss one-on-one if you want to reach out.
So if someone is not a recent grad, do you still want to see the transcripts in your application?
Yes.
Okay. Can you as CPA do the Canadian tax job position? This is for David, I think.
No. No.
No,
So if you apply for corporate tax, then you need your Canadian CPA.
So we have a question about my English language is intermediate. Do I lose my opportunity?
I think, well, not necessarily at the funneling stage. It's something to be determined at the interview stage.
How would you show that you are pursuing USCPA? Simply, if you are enrolled in the program and you have like applied for an exam, you can like show it by sending the proof that you are preparing for your exams, or if you have passed any of the exams. If it's advised not to highlight prior experience when applying for an entry-level role, blah, 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 blah. Yes, as we mentioned, if the experience is irrelevant, simply don't mention it. And there is one question from Maranatha.
I think we answered that one.
All right. So we're done with the questions. Again, I have received also many questions like on the personal chat. I'm not gonna answer them here, but I'm gonna directly respond to those who sent us those questions in person. I'm gonna call them in the coming days to answer their questions.
Yeah,
So,
I see two new questions. Sorry.
Hmm?
One is actually very relevant. So, does the job application in PwC show U.S. corporate tax non-CPA? Yes, it does. That's just to make it clear that it's not a Canadian CPA role. That's why it's titled that way.
All right, so we had a long session of Q&A. I hope that we were able to answer all of the questions. We made sure to go over all of the questions. It took us a long time, but we were so happy in answering those questions. I hope that we gave you the proper answer. But in case you still have any doubt or any question, you can reach out to us anytime by email or by LinkedIn or on our landlines, so that we can give you more information and more personalized questions. So while we're wrapping up, I'm going to talk quickly about the US CPA and tell you that the US CPA exam is challenging, but it's a rewarding journey. As you can see, to apply for those positions, a US CPA is required. So it's challenging, but rewarding. So with the proper preparation, persistence, you will be well on your way to becoming a licensed US CPA. So in the meantime, if you have any question, if you're ready to take the next step for your US CPA, or to apply for the positions that are open on PwC side, be sure to check out our resources and to reach out as soon as possible. Thank you, Catherine, David, Yalin, and Jason, and Sylvie. Thank you, everyone, for attending. It was a very interactive meeting. Thank you a lot. And wait for our subsequent email that will contain most of the information, the links, and all the needed information and our contact details.
Thanks a lot, Anis.
Thank you, PwC, and thank you
Everyone.
Have a good night.
everyone
Bye.
for attending.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.